Hi, I'm Michael Hatch, Outdoor Adventure Program Director and Health and Human Performance Instructor at Eastern Oregon University. These series of videos are going to focus on what to pack and how to pack it. Now, properly fitting all this gear into a backpack is an art and takes time and practice to get good at. But done correctly, it'll ensure you don't feel like you have a gorilla on your back and will allow you to more fully enjoy and immerse yourself in the natural surroundings the next time you venture out into the backcountry. First off, in this video series, and one of the most important things to consider, but many times is shrugged off as not that big of a deal, is to have a pack that is the right size and fit for you. Not for your grandma, not for your neighbor Billy Bob down the corner, for you. Now, there's a few things that you need to consider when you're out backpack shopping, or you're just grabbing a backpack from a neighbor, or you're maybe renting one from OU's rental shop. One of those is capacity. If you're going out on just a weekend trip, you can have a smaller pack than if you're going on a week-long backpacking trip where you need to fit a lot more stuff and a lot more food. You just need a lot more capacity. In the outdoor world, they rate capacity in backpacks by the liters. Now, a 55 liter to 75 liter pack is going to be great for going on a weekend backpacking trip, say 2 to 3 days, or just an overnighter. Now, if you're going to go on a week-long backpacking trip, you might want to consider a bigger sized pack, more capacity, probably in the 75 to 95 liter range. Now, another important thing to think about is that they now make backpacks that are gender specific, and they design them slightly different, usually difference on the hip belt and in the curvature of the stays that are internally on the backpack for males and females. So you can, females out there, women, you can get a backpack that is more adapted to your body style. So I definitely think you should be checking those out if you can. Another one is the size of the pack. Now, this doesn't have to do with the capacity. This just has to do with how long lengthwise the backpack is. And most backpacks will be telling you the size either on the waist belt somewhere or on the shoulder strap somewhere, or some even have it on the padding on the backpack. Now, you'll just have to look around for them to kind of figure out where it's telling you the size of the backpack. And if you go into any gear store, they're going to be able to help you with that. But definitely make sure if you're, a shorter person that you're probably getting a small. If you're anywhere from, 5'8" to 5'10", 11, you're getting a medium-sized pack. And if you're a longer torsoed person, then you're probably going to want a large. Or if you need more girth, because also the larges tend to, have a bigger waistband also. There are a couple other important things to think about when you're out shopping for a new backpack. One of those is what we call functionality. There are a lot of bells and whistles on backpacks, but a few things I think are really important to think about. A lot of backpacks have top lids that are removable, and that you can either take the waist strap off your backpack and feed it through the lid, or it's got its own straps, hip straps in there. And that is super great because you can just load this little lid up with stuff for a little day trip, and you don't have to take everything out of your whole backpack or just wear your whole big backpack around. Super handy. Another one is there side or back access to your pack other than just coming in from the top down. Some backpacks are just big tubes and you just have to always take off the lid to get into stuff in the pack. That's not very handy, especially like say all of a sudden it starts to rain, you want to grab your rain jacket and you got to dig through your whole pack to get it. Well, if there's a side zipper or you've got another say back compartment here that unzips, that's real handy. So you can get into your pack without having to just undo your whole top lid and so forth. Another thing that is really handy is to have side pockets. So these side pockets, you could stash a water bottle. Also having straps on the side where you could feed in like a sleeping pad or hiking poles or maybe your tent poles or something. Those are really great to have on a backpack. Another thing to think about is, does it have a hydration pouch? For your hydration system. That's another thing that's really nice. There's usually a sleeve on the inside, and then there's an access for your tube to come out on your shoulder straps. So that is really a great functional item too. So those are a few things to think about as far as functionality when you're shopping for a new backpack. Now, the important thing with a backpack is to keep the weight off your shoulders, especially over a lot of miles. If you just have all that weight hanging on your shoulders, you're going to get bad rub down on your shoulders, you're going to get backaches. It's just not going to be a good scene. So we want to get the weight off your shoulders, and the way we do that is to put it on your waist. Most backpacks allow you to adjust the distance between your waist belt and your top of your shoulder straps. Now with this backpack, you just remove the padding, and then right here there's a nice little strap that you can adjust, and it actually has a nice little diagram here, color coded, and that allows you to see and make adjustments to the length of the backpack. So I have a long torso, so I usually need my distance between my hip belt and the top of my shoulder straps to be a little bit longer. And some folks have shorter waists, and so they'll need them a little shorter. So you can adjust it to your torso length, which is really handy. And then what you want to do after you've done that is you'll get this thing on your back, and you'll bring your waist strap over, and you want to get your waist belt up over your hips and then tighten that down nice and snug so it's kind of resting on top of your hips. And then you've got a chest strap right here, and you want to get that all strapped down and tight. And then you can do some fine tuning adjustment with some other straps. There's right here on your shoulder strap, there's straps right there, so you can pull those down. That usually brings the load down as far as onto your shoulders more. There's also straps back here on the lower part of your waist belt that'll bring the lower part of the pack closer into your hips. There is also straps up here at the very top above your shoulder straps that then you can pull those down, and that brings the weight, actually the top of the pack, closer in to your back. That's kind of personal preference. You're just going to have to kind of adjust with it. Some people like the weight closer into their back, and a lot of others like it a little bit off their back a little bit. But those are most of the important things to think about when you are looking to shop for a backpack or to borrow a backpack or rent a backpack. And next off, we'll be talking about the things that go into our backpack.